These servos will be glued into place in the provided servo bays already cut out on the wings here. We have everything plugged in now. We're going to power on the receiver on the servos, and you'll hear the initializing tones. There we go. Okay, I have both servos plugged in. The servo mounting orientation is going to be personal preference again. I look for the smallest around travel as far as the wire's concerned, so I'm going to have the wire run right through this way. So I'm going to go ahead and just press these down into place for now. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to glue them in. We're just press fitting them. And then in the bags of servo hardware, you'll find the screws and everything. You'll find that there are these little silver screws that look like that. Tiny little silver Phillips head screws. Those will not be used at all. Those screws are actually for the servos itself when if it was going to be mounted in something with a wood base and screwed on, but we're not doing that. These are going to be glued on, so we're not going to be using those. So now, once I have that pressed into place, I'm going to choose the horn. Let's see if I can get the camera in here. I'm going to be choosing to use this horn here because it's the fitment is perfect as far as length and everything, so we don't need to be using the other horns inside the bag. But however, you do definitely want to keep those for spares. Again, here you can run the servo horn orientation whichever way you choose. I'm going to go like that pretty much, but right now we're just checking for direction, making sure all the direction is correct, because the push rods in here are little carbon push rods for the elevons, and they're going to be glued in place with CA. So we're not gonna, we need to make sure everything's running in the correct directions. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna check servos here. So we have left, right, up, and down. So everything is correct. Check your servo geometry as far as your servo arms. It doesn't really matter. You could be off a little bit. It doesn't really matter. It could, it's not gonna affect anything that much. So, but definitely for all of us that build airplanes, whether we're novice or experienced, we always try to find the best in the servo geometry to make sure all the arms are straight and matching up to the other side. I'm going to empty out the contents of this. These are the little silver push rods and the little control surface arms there. These little control surface horns will be mounted right in the elevon, and you're just going to pretty much pick a spot where you would like to mount them, and you're pretty much set, ready to go there. So now let's go ahead and move on to that section. I've actually gone ahead and slotted I scored my wing here and put a little slit in here so I can actually sink my servo wires down into place. Now, the servos here are glued into place, as I said before. You're not going to really be worried about taking the servos out because this is EPP foam, and as long as you use foam tack or you use the included contact cement, this servo, you could basically just yank it right out there. So we're not going to, you don't need a whole lot of glue as well. We're just going to put a little bit on all the surfaces, on the vertical surfaces there, and then I'm just going to press this servo right down into place here. I'm going to look for that line I did score. There we go. I'm going to press that right down into place there. Okay, once that is down there, I'm going to do the same with the other side. As you can see, my motor box is off right now because I'm still anticipating running the wires underneath the motor box just for a cleaner look, and then gluing it down later on. There we go. Where's that slot? There it is. Find that slot, and then you can see that my servos are pretty much now, they're in place already. Give it a good press, and then I don't have my little screwdriver on my handy here, but you're pretty much, if you choose to slot it, this section here takes a little bit of time because you have to kind of guide that wire into the foam. And then best thing I found to use is just a little flathead screwdriver, and or just use your fingers because you don't really want to press too far down into this foam or possibly damage the foam or anything like that. So, and we're not going super far here. We're just going to go right to where it needs to go and starts to go underneath the motor box. There we go. So that's what it looks like. You can actually cut it a little bit deeper I didn't do it as deep this time. If you do choose to cut it a little bit deeper, you could use this, see how far, if that'll press it down. Actually, this works pretty good. You can almost pretty much not be able to see the wire, and that's what it looks like. So that's a choice there, or you could just go ahead and tape the wires to the top here. Now that the servos are installed and the motor box is ready to go, and you know that everything directional wise is ready, we can go ahead and tuck everything underneath the motor box here and glue the motor box to the wing itself. Now, for my own liking, when I glue this down, I'm not going to use CA because chances are I'll probably end up wanting to remove it to get to the bottom of this for maintenance or ESC or something like that. So I will use, once again, I will use foam tack. And here's a tip for you. I don't put foam tack all over the bottom portion. I only put it on little, like just a little section here, and then the tab itself, and then just a little section, and then the tab itself. So that way, if I do need to remove this piece here, it still will come off. Okay, so let's go ahead and foam tack it up here. Again, like I said, I'm mostly putting this glue on just the tabs. Here we go. Remember, you have both sides to do here, and it doesn't matter if you get a little glue on the battery wires, on the motor wires, it doesn't matter. It's okay. You can just go ahead and wipe it off with your finger there, or a little rag. There we go. Mainly, I want this glue on the tabs. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to call that pretty good there. We're just going to go ahead and make sure all the wires are out of the way. And we're going to press this home right there. Perfect. Slides right in. We're lined up. And now it's a good time to not do anything for a little bit. If you have anything that has of weight, put something on here, on top right here, to press the motor box down so that it'll sit in place here. But if you're like me, I'm just going to kind of watch it, gauge it, watch it, and then kind of work around it for now. And then at the same time, just keep an eye on, make sure that this is down and flush.